Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about the most valuable thing you can do for yourself. So this video, I'm going to give you an unordinary answer to that question, because we typically like to think that we need to do something immediately. We have to immediately take action on, something that's pressing in our lives. Like if we don't know what kind of career we want, we don't know what kind of job we want, we don't know where we want to live, we don't know like what the best diet is, or what the next best thing to do is as far as it goes in our life, as far as it goes for our life, right? So I'm here to basically tell you that the best thing you can do for yourself is to do nothing. Because here's the thing, right? We like to jump to people, books, resources, YouTube videos, even when we lack clarity, or when we feel a little sense of discomfort, a little sense of doubt, a little sense of uncertainty, right? A little sense of, any sense of discomfort, right? As it pertains to our career or whatever we're pursuing in life, right? So the most valuable thing you can do is nothing. The most valuable thing you can do for yourself is to just sit in silence, right? Sit in solitude and let your mind just run, right? Your mind never stops, right? And the problem is that we like to take action off of our thoughts that we have on a daily basis, right? And we think we need to take action on every thought that we have, right? Because our mind is always, it's a monkey mind, right? Do this, do that. Oh, why didn't you do this? Oh, go over here. Oh, do that. Oh, make sure you do this. Oh, don't forget to do that, right? Your mind is always telling you to do things, right? Because it's a survival mechanism. Your mind is designed to keep you alive. So its main objective is to get you to do things, to get food, to get shelter, to have resources so that you can survive, right? So that's the functioning of your mind, right? And it's an engine that runs. It's an animal that doesn't stop, right? And the mind is very deceptive at times, and it can be very painful to experience the incessant thinking and the incessant feeling of needing to do something, because your mind just doesn't want to stop generating thoughts, right? Generating ideas. So anyways, your biggest problem is going to be yourself in life. Your biggest problem is going to be your inability to sit with your thoughts and just let them pass, right? Because when you constantly feel the need to take action off of every single thought that you have, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to start something and then quickly realize, wow, that was just a thought I had in my head. I didn't actually want to start that thing. I didn't actually want to do that thing. And like I said, that can cause a lot of frustration, and it can waste a lot of time. How many people do you see, right? Maybe it's friends, maybe it's coworkers, maybe it's family members, but how many people do you witness on a regular basis constantly switching things up, constantly wanting to do this and then wanting to do that, and then wanting to go over here, and then wanting to start this project, wanting to do this job, wanting to entertain this woman, entertain this guy, right? So the thing with being alone and being in silence and being in solitude is that you learn to just let your mind be. You learn to just let your thoughts pass, right? And in our day, right, we have so many distractions that it's hard for us to even sit down for 10 minutes, let alone, really any span of time, and just sit there and let your thoughts just flow. So, like I said, it's difficult because you feel, a lot of us have imbalances as it pertains to our dopamine, or our incessant need for gratification. So when you're in silence, your brain is like screaming at you to do something, because it's used to stimulation. It's used to watching videos, reading books. It's used to going out for walks. It's used to being around people, or going to work, or being preoccupied with something. But I want to challenge you guys, right? If you lack clarity in some way, in some area of your life, to just sit and be, right? To not jump to not feel like you need to start something new every time you feel a sense of discomfort, every time you feel a sense of anxiety, every time you feel any sort of discomfort. Because like I said, ability as it pertains to your career, as it pertains to your business and your success. Your ability to become successful inevitably comes down to your ability to be consistent, right? And if your mind, right, if you are not training your mind to just let the thoughts pass and let the ideas pass, right, and you're constantly starting things and stopping things and starting things and stopping things, that's not gonna give you any results, right? Your biggest ally is your ability to be consistent, right? So if you're consistent in one thing, right, you're going to be way more successful than someone who's constantly starting one thing over here and then does it for a few weeks or a few months and then stops, right? And then they start another thing for a few months and a few weeks and then they stop, right? So it's hard because our brains are constantly seeking excitement, constantly seeking novelty, constantly wanting to experience more pleasure, more fun, more novelty, more new exciting things on a constant basis, right? That's just our brain. That's just how our brain operates, right? We want all the pleasures in the world constantly. And when we don't get those pleasures, like I said, we feel sad, sick, depressed. And then when we feel sad, sick, depressed, discouraged, fearful, uncertain, that's when we let our mind get the best of us and start doing stupid things and start, dreaming and taking irrational action, right? That should be a new term, irrational action. We take action based off of an emotion, based off of a feeling, right? It's not based in an actual, real, need for survival, right? Like for example, right? If you have no job, right? And you're really pressed for money and you can't afford food, you need a job, you need income. Okay, it makes sense to feel that fear and go out and start applying for jobs, start going into physical stores or spots where you can apply to jobs and start talking to people and ask to get hired, right? That makes sense. But it doesn't make sense if you have, a decent paying career, right? And you have food, you have shelter, you're doing well in your job and your career. You'd like to make more money, but you start incessantly applying for other jobs because you just feel a sense of discomfort. You feel a sense of stagnation. You feel that, you need to do something. You feel like you're not where you're supposed to be, or you feel like the situation you're in at your current job sucks, right? And like I said, this is kind of taking a bigger picture overview, but not everything is always supposed to feel great. Not everything is always supposed to feel comfortable and secure, right? There's times where you're going to feel insecure. There's times where you're going to feel like things aren't working out in your favor. There's times where you're going to feel like, things just aren't unfolding at the time that they should unfold, right? And your ability to just sit and let your thoughts be, let your thoughts flow is going to be your biggest skill set that you can develop in life, right? That's going to differentiate you from pretty much everyone else, right? Because a lot of people can't commit to anything, right? Think of how many people can't, I think the average time span someone lasts in a job is 4 to 5 years, right? And then they quit, right? Most people don't last more than 2 years, right? And your ability to last the distance, whether it's a career, whether it's a business, is going to be, I think, the biggest contributor to your overall success from a financial standpoint. Because at the end of the day, if you're able to stick with something, right, you beat out most people that can only, like I said, stick to something for 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. So don't let your thoughts, don't let your fears, don't let your uncertainty cause you to take action that could hurt your progress in your path, right? And like I said, it's normal to feel discomfort, right? It doesn't matter how, your success, right? No matter how good you are in your career, your business, your brain's always gonna want more, right? I'm reading a book right now called The Molecule of More, and it's basically a book on they pretty much are talking about dopamine, right? And it was kind of funny because I didn't really understand dopamine until they explained it. But dopamine is not a pleasure chemical. It's the anticipation of something unexpected, something new, something exciting, right? That's what dopamine is. Endorphin, serotonin, that's more in the present. But dopamine is like the chemical released when you feel like there's going to be a positive outcome in the near future, right? Whether it's a new love. That's why, you know, they talk about in the book, like new lovers, how relationships typically, a lot of people don't last more than 6 to 12 to 18 months, because once the newness runs off, once the excitement and the unexpectedness starts to fade, the love starts to fade, that's when the dopamine starts to fade, and they start to, like I said, get content, and then they start to get bored. So if you're bored, right, or you are you know, unclear as to what you may want, or you feel like you know, you feel like you just need to constantly take action and go over here and start this and do that and just be kind of irrational, I challenge you to just take time to yourself, right? Put your phone down, put the books down, you know, don't hang around people too much, and just let your mind be, right? And just observe your thoughts, right? It's hard, it's difficult, right, at times, because we're so used to constantly stimulating ourselves. But I promise you, if you make this a practice, whether it's just 20 minutes of you lying down in your bed and you just sit there and let your thoughts go, you just think and you just observe, you'll find out that a lot of your incessant thinking and a lot of your fears are just part of your everyday life, right? It's not going to go away when you get a better career. It's not going to go away when you get a new lover or when you get a better life circumstance, right? It's always going to be there. And I think if you make a commitment to yourself to spend time alone, I think you can understand that, and you can make choices from a rational perspective and not feel the constant need to take incessant action and irrational action that oftentimes leads us to disappointment and oftentimes ruins our progress in our careers, in our relationships, in our life in general. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.